Whether you purchase my basic strategy flashcards, my deviation flashcards, or something else that I sell, I'm going to show you in this video how to print these out, how to cut them up, and how to use them so you can become a better advantage blackjack player. All right, I'm going to head over to the computer and show you how to print these out first. If you need a different part of the video, you can skip to there. All right, so I'm over here at Office Depot and Office Max's website, and this is the page that I'm going to link down below. However, if you just go to their main site, you can also get there by going at the top where it says services, and then in the middle there's one that's just copies, kind of again right on top. So if you click that, that's the page I'm going to link at the bottom of this video. Then we want to go over here on the right side where it says get started, and you can get copies as low as 18 cents each, but we're going to choose a little bit more quality paper. We are going to start by hitting my device is where you're going to download these from. Yours are going to be in your downloads if you purchase from my my store. However, I have them up here in my desktop, and so I'm just going to select all 6 files. You would too. Select all 6 at once, and that way we just have to modify I should say one time, and that'll affect each of our 6 different PDFs here. Okay. So you can see when we do this, down at the bottom says page 1 of 12. That's because currently it's just one-sided, and I'll show you the fix for that in a second. Yeah, like right now you can see this left side is blank, and that'd be like the back of our first page. We want that to be the back of the flashcards, and because of that, we need to print this out on double-sided. So yeah, this page is blank, and to fix that, we're going to go over here to the left side. All right, there's a few options, and one of them is double-sided. Let's click that. If you don't click that, then you're probably going to have to paste yours together or something, and you don't want to have to do that. So now you can see that this is pages 2 and 3 of 12, and that's because one's on the back side and one's on the front side, and that's exactly what we want. Okay, a couple other options. If we go to the left, we don't want just the standard white 24 pound. We're going to go in here and we're going to change it. It's still going to be white, but what I have found that works best is you would think it'd be cardstock, but it's actually going to be one more down, which is this matte cardstock cover. And this is 37 cents per copy. So this matte cardstock cover, if you want something thicker, you can go with the premium, 100 pound, but let's go with this matte cardstock cover. And then I think the rest of the options are good. We want to make sure it's color paper, obviously, double-sided, and then the orientation should already be correct. Okay, so then it's just a matter of going down here to the bottom and hitting add to cart, proceed to checkout, and then you can go from there. All right, so now we've got those printed out. They're obviously here in sheets of 9, and we need to cut them up in order to make the actual flashcards. We have the front sides mirrored with the back sides. All right, what I would suggest that you do is get a piece of cardboard or something that you can put down so you don't cut through your felt or you don't mark up your kitchen table. We don't want anybody mad at us because we're making some flashcards. And you can use scissors for sure. However, I would probably instead use like an X-Acto knife, or if you have a utility knife, right, and along with like a straight edge. And you want to be careful so that on the sides, you kind of mark along the outside here so that you do have a little bit of that red border or blue border, depending on which type of card you're using. And then that's on the outside. You want to go along the outside. However, the ones in the middle, you want to try to straddle this perfectly so that you are right in the middle of those. And if you do it right, the borders should be about the same size. Now, you can be off a little bit. Of course, you can be as precise or not precise as you'd like. So I'm going to do one of these, and I'm going to throw it into a hyperlapse and show you how I do it. And I'll be right back with you once I have the full deck, and so that you can see how to use these cards once they're made. All right, so now that your cards are cut up, you should have a nice solid deck of cards just like this, and it should be able to fit inside of a deck of playing cards. That's one reason why I made them this size, is because it's the exact same size that would fit inside of a card box, so they're easy to kind of take on the go. And anyway, I want to tell you kind of how to use these cards in this section of the video. So we're going to start with the basic strategy cards. And the way that you read these is the 2 on the bottom. This is going to be like your hand versus the top one's going to be the dealer's card. Just like the game of blackjack is dealt, right? Let's say we have a soft 20 versus a dealer 6 or something. Those are your cards. This is the dealer's card. That is how you would read this, your cards versus the dealer's card. And so with that, that's how the front is read. And then since these are like the basic strategy cards, you have to kind of decide what's going to happen on the back. That's going to be the big decisions you're going to see. So for example, a pair of 2s is split against dealers 2 through 7. So against the dealer's 8, we'd actually hit this. So on the back, it's going to say that you're going to hit. And I have color-coded these so that it has kind of our 4 main decisions: hit, stand, double down, split, as well as, if you have kind of my version 2 or older cards, I also have included surrender, as well as a blank, right? Actually, a few blanks probably, in case there's some of these. I can't include all the decisions, but I try to include some of the tougher ones so you can get those down. But if there's one that you want on there, maybe you can, take a Sharpie and fill it into those spots there, and then write in your own decision on the back. So one other thing with this, let's take this one, for example. And this one says this is a soft 19 versus the dealer's 5. Of course, we're going to stand. At the bottom, it also has all of the soft 19s kind of rule, and it's written out in the form of a phrase. It says a soft 19 doubles against 6. Otherwise, you're going to stand. So in this case, since it's against the dealer's 5, we're going to stand. Now, this may or may not be true for H17 versus S17, and so you need to know the difference between those. However, that's where some of our deviations come into play. So the way that the deviations work are slightly different. All right, let me take this one, for example. This is a soft 13 versus a dealer's 5. And so normally, you know what basic strategy says to do? Normally, we would double down here. All right, however, if I flip it over, I do have double down on there, but in the middle, it says to hit. So remember, this is a deviation. We need to know when we're going to deviate from basic strategy. So the way that you read these is the top decision on each of these is going to be what basic strategy is. So if I put a couple out here, you can see that this one was to split, stand, hit, double down, all right? But what we do in the middle decision, this is going to be how we deviate in those particular situations, right? So if I take this middle one here, this is a 9 versus a dealer's 2. Normally we're going to hit, but we're going to double down at a true count of +1 or higher. And again, there's that phrase down below that explicitly says that. It says normally a hit, double at a TC or true count of +1 or higher. So again, I have my hit, stand, double down, split, and I also have some no deviations, like a pair of aces is always going to split. It doesn't matter what the count is, you're always going to split those. So that one does not have a deviation. There's also some that I put as no deviations, but if you want to learn kind of an expanded deviation, I have some that has an expanded deviation bubble. So I'll let you get those to see. We have some more blanks if you want to fill in. If you learn more deviations, you can fill those in there. And then also with my version 2 and later cards, I have an information card. So this has some QR codes with some of my information, as well as kind of a QR code as to how this deck works, which will kind of bring you back to this video. I think this particular card here is the 9 versus a dealer's 2, and you can see it tells you what the front looks like and what this means, as well as what the back looks like and what it means. In case you don't want to pull this video up, you can always reference this card. All right, I've also been working with some different partners here, and so if it is kind of a deck that's a collaboration, there might be their information as well as my information. Check out some of our videos and things like that, which we'd really appreciate. If you are interested in learning more about kind of what these deviations or what this basic strategy, kind of how these cards work, you can check out the video on the screen. But as always, guys, until next time, this is A1 Blackjack.